Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Daysi DIY. Today I'm gonna share with you guys an easy and beautiful home decor. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much.
For the first project, I'm going to be using
two books that I got from Dollar Tree. So I'm gonna be using a piece of this gift bag that I had on hand. I cannot remember from where I got it. Maybe they gave me something and I just saved the bag. So what I did, I just put my book on the top and with my pencil, I just mark it at the side that I need for my book. And with my scissors, I just cut it. So once I was done, I just used this adhesive spray that I got from Dollar Tree. It's the first time that I'm gonna be using it and it works very well. I just love it how it turned out because I didn't use Mod Podge to put it. I just used this adhesive. Also, the nice about this, because my bag, it was a little bit wrinkled, so it kind of smoothed all the wrinkles. So once I was done, I just put my book on the top and I just smoothed all the wrinkles so it can look smooth, the book. And this is how it looks once you're done. So the next thing, we're going to be using this Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white, and also I'm going to be using this Waverly chalk paint on color anti-wax that I got from Walmart. So I decided to distress the books a little bit. If you guys want, you guys can just leave it the way it is. They look really beautiful too. But I decided to distress it. So you guys can see I'm not using a lot of paint. I'm just using a little bit. And I just did on the back and the front and also the side of the book. And once I was done, I just used this Waverly chalk paint on color anti-wax that I got from Walmart to distress it a little bit, and I just did the same step with the other book. Also, I'm gonna be using this sandpaper that I got from Dollar Tree, and I just start sanding on the top of the book so it can look a little bit more distressed, the book. And with the sandpaper, I just sand the edges of the book so we can just remove the extra paper that I had on the edges of the book. I'm going to use a piece of cardboard to create a heart. So if you guys don't have this wood heart that Dollar Tree has, I want to recreate it with an easy thing that you guys can have on hand. So what I did, I just did one bigger heart and two medium and also three small ones. So once I was done tracing the hearts with my pencil, I just used my scissors to cut it, and I'm just gonna do the same step with the other hearts. And this is how it looks once you're done. So you guys can see I have one big heart, two mediums, and three small ones. And to paint it, I'm going to be using that Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white, and also I'm going to be using the Waverly chalk paint on color anti-wax. I'm going to be using this small brush that I got from Ross. So I'm just going to do one coat and I'm just going to let it dry. So you guys can see I'm not painting the heart all the way because I want the cardboard to show a little bit. So once I was done, I just paint the edges of the heart and also the back. So this is how it looks once you're done. The next thing, I'm using the Waverly chalk paint on color anti-wax to distress the heart. So you guys can see I'm just doing the edges first, and once I'm done, I'm just going to paint a little bit inside. I'm going to use this flexible stencil that I got from Dollar Tree, and to hold the stencil, I'm using a piece of painter's tape that I got from Dollar Tree as well. And to paint it, I'm using the Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white, and I'm just going to be using this small brush to paint it. I did 3 coats and I just let it dry, and this is how it looks once you're done. So I decided to put the word believe and success. And once we're done, we're just gonna glue the hearts together. So I wanna give my heart a 3D effect. And for that, I'm using this foam tape that I got from Dollar Tree. And I just used a small piece to put them in the back of the heart. And once I was done, I just glue it together. And to glue it, I just use hot glue. I'm going to glue the heart on the top of the book. And to glue it, I'm gonna use hot glue. But if you guys want a strong hold, you guys can use E6000. Also, I decided to use this ribbon that I had on hand, and I just wrap it twice on the book, and I just tie it very well, and I just create this small bow on the top. So the next thing, if you guys want, you guys can just leave it the way it is, but I decide to put the two hearts on the side, and to glue it I just use hot glue. I just want to show you guys, if you guys want, you guys can put greenery here on the top and it will look really beautiful. Or if you guys want, you guys can put the greenery right here on the bottom of the heart. Any option, it will look really beautiful.
And this is how it looks our project once we're done. I really love it so much, but please let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this project? For the next DIY, I'm going to be using this wood hanging decor that I got from Dollar Tree. It's just an arrow, and I'm pretty sure you guys seen it and you Dollar Tree so many times. You can find it at the craft square section. So the first thing, I remove the hanger and the piece of jute twine, and I decide to cover those holes with a little bit of the spackling. But if you guys don't have the spackling from Dollar Tree, you guys can use just a little bit of the hot glue and it work amazing. Sometimes I use it, So I found this other beautiful free printable, and I love it so much. The heart, they have so much detail. So I just place my image and I place my arrow on the top, and I just trace it with my pencil, and I just cut it with the scissors. And once I cut it, I always love to take my time, so I cut just the parts that I need. And once I was done cutting my beautiful image, I just put a little bit of the Mod Podge on the back. This time I didn't paint the arrow piece because it was not need to paint it, but on the back I do paint it because I'm gonna show you in the minute how it turns out the project. And I just did another coat of Mod Podge on the top, and I just placed my image, and I just kind of smooth any wrinkles or bubbles, but there were no wrinkles in this piece of project. It was super easy to place that image, and you guys can see it was kind of a little bit bigger, the image. I always do, I just let it dry, and I just grab a piece of sandpaper and I kind of sand the edges, and it has a really clean cut. And I did another coat on Mod Podge, and I also put a lot of Mod Podge on this image too, but nothing happens, like if you put a lot of Mod Podge. I'm gonna grab two pieces of these popsicle sticks, and I was just looking for the plain ones that I have, but I couldn't find it, so that's why I grabbed these jello ones. So I'm gonna reuse a piece of this piece of paper that we create on the first project, and I really love all the detail that it had. So I'm gonna put my popsicle sticks and I'm gonna trace them, and I'm gonna cut it to the side that I need it. And once I cut it, I gonna do another coat of Mod Podge, and I'm just using a little bit of the Mod Podge. If you guys want to, you guys can paint the two pieces of the popsicle sticks if you wanted to, but I really love all the details that it had. This free printable, it's kind of like really wood. I don't know, I really love all the details that it had, so that's the reason why I decided to cover it. And also, once I place the piece of paper on the edges, like bend it a little bit so it can cover the yellow part on the side. I hopefully makes sense, And I just did another coat on the top to seal really well the image, and I just put it to a side and let it dry really well. The next thing, once they were completely dry, I'm gonna put them on the top. And one of the piece, I just cut a small piece so they can be a little bit like straight. So to glue the pieces, I just use a little bit of the hot glue, but I'm thinking right now, I think it's way better to use wood glue for permanent hold, but I don't know why I didn't use it. And once I place my two pieces, I'm going to be using this Waverly anti-wax to paint two pieces of the jingle blocks, because I'm gonna place them two on the front and two on the back so it can stand up this beautiful wood house that we create. And once I was done painting it, I'm just gonna put it to a side and let it dry. Also, I decided with the same paint to go over on the edges so everything can blend together, because I didn't like it how it looks, like once I was painting the two pieces of the jingle blocks and I placed it, I'm like, no, it does not go really well, so it needs a little bit of the paint. And here is the part also too, when I decide to paint on the back so everything can blend. And obviously that's not Daisy if she does not like finish a really good project, from the back. So I just let it dry really well. And once I let it dry, I'm just gonna also with the same piece of the bad sponge, I still have a little bit of the paint, and I'm just gonna go over in a few parts to distress it a little bit. I decide to remove and distress, I don't know what do you guys want to call it, with a piece of sandpaper a little bit on the side of the jingle blocks. It turned out really beautiful once I did this step. And here's the part where I'm gonna be gluing the pieces together. And here I did use wood glue. It surprised me so much. So I just used a little bit of the wood glue with a little bit of the hot glue so it can hold it on place, so it can has at the same time permanent hold. And I'm gonna place the two pieces, and here you guys can see it really clear how I did it, like how I put that two pieces on the front and the other two pieces on the back. Once you place it, it holds really amazing. I love it so much, and it stands up really easy, the house. I love it. And also on the other side, how it looks really clean and everything, I decided to create another project. It turned out really cute, and I have a few options for you guys. I hope you guys like it, and let me know in the comments down below which one do you like most, like the first, second, and third. And here's the second option. I just grabbed this beautiful wood heart, and I going to use a little bit of the hot glue to glue it. If you guys want a permanent hole, you guys can use wood glue. And I'm gonna place it on the middle. I'm gonna be using this farmhouse ribbon, and I grab a piece and I just create a simple bow, and I'm gonna place them on the top, especially like where it had that little hole, the heart. And this project was so simple and beautiful. I love it how I create this one. But I have a third option. If you guys want to, you guys can grab these stickers that you guys can find it at your Dollar Tree. I grabbed just a piece where it says love, and I place it on the bottom. You guys can use a little bit of the Mud Patch to cover it really well so it can has a permanent hold. I think The third option is way better, but please let me know in the comments down below which one it was your favorite, the first one, second one, or third one.
For the next project, I'm gonna be using this beautiful wood holder that I got from Dollar Tree, and I got it this year. And to paint it, I'm using the Waverly paint on color must. I did first one coat and I just let it dry. For me, it was more easy just to put a little bit of the water in the paint so it can be more easy to place it on the wood piece, and it worked just fine. Also, I decided to paint inside of this wood holder. And to distress it a little bit more, I just used the Rust-Oleum chalk paint on color white, and I just used a little bit of this paint, and it turned out really beautiful once I used the paint because it gives this farm look that I really love in all my pieces. And once it's completely dry, I just grab a piece of sandpaper and I just remove a little bit of the paint. I really love to do this because it can blend the two colors at the same time. It removes a little bit of the color that it has in the top, and it gives this beautiful finish on my pieces. Also, I just use the anti-wax just on the edges so it can pop a little bit more the wood piece, and I really recommend to do this because it turned out really amazing once you use the anti-wax. The next thing, we're gonna be using this dry eraser paddles that I got at my Dollar Tree this year, and I just did a hole in the middle with the drill so I can hang this beautiful piece on my wall. And I'm just gonna be place the holder on the middle, and I just use hot glue to glue it. But if you guys want a permanent hole, I would recommend you guys to use E6000. If you guys want, you guys can just cover the hole, but I didn't do it because I just create this raffia bow to place it on the middle, and it turned out really beautiful because you can even show that it had a hole. And also, I didn't thought on recording this part because I thought they were not gonna turn out beautiful. It was really easy what I did. I just grabbed this ribbon that I got at Dollar Tree, and I just cut a piece and I just place it on the bottom, and I just use a little bit of hot glue to glue it. And also I just cut another piece to cover a little bit of the handle, and I just grab one button and place it on the middle of the raffia bow. I think it turned out really beautiful, and I'm so sorry if I didn't record the part, but I was not so sure if I was gonna leave the ribbon. But once I was done, I'm like, that's the touch that I need because I didn't like it how it looked just all white. But please let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this project?
For the next DIY, I'm gonna be using a cardboard box that I had on hand, and It was really good quality that I decided to create this budget-friendly DIY. So the first thing, I'm gonna be using the Rust-Oleum paint on color white to paint it. I just did one coat and I just let it dry really well. I'm gonna be creating two side projects. So on the back of the card box, I'm not gonna paint it. I'm just gonna put a free printable on the back, but I will show you in a minute that one. So I found this beautiful free printable and I just cut it to the size that I need, and I just gonna use a little bit of the Mod Podge on the back of that image, and I just put a little bit on the top of that little box, and I just gonna place my words, and it says love. And I'm pretty sure you guys can find any free printable on Google. You just search for hearts or love letters, whatever you're looking for. I'm pretty sure you guys can find it. And like I always mention, if you guys don't find out any free printable that you guys love, you guys can send me an email and I will send it by email any free printable that you guys want to. Once I was done, I decided to do a cut on Mod Podge on the top so it can seal the image really well. And once I'm done, I just put it to a side and let it dry really well, the Mod Podge. The next thing that I decide to do to distress it a little bit, and for that I just use a little bit of the Waverly anti-wax, and I love to use this piece of bad sponge because like it used a little bit of the paint at the same time. It distress it really beautiful, and this is how it looks. Our first project, it turned out really beautiful. If you guys see, if it looks like it's a piece of wood when it's not. And let me show you for the second side of the same card box on the second project what we're gonna do. I found this other free printable on Google. It's really beautiful. So I decided to first like mark on the edges of the little box so I can cut it to the side that I need it. And once I was okay with it, I kind of decided to fold it again the paper. So it was kind of easy for me to use my scissors to cut it the image. And once I cut it, you guys can see that my image, it was a little bit smaller, but it was really simple fix. I just grabbed an extra pieces of the same image and I just cut it a smaller one so I can put it on the side, and it was just the perfect pieces that I need. I went ahead and put another cut on Mod Podge on the back. Just first put the small pieces so I can place the big piece on the top, so it kind of like give this effect that we had just one image. I hope it makes sense. And actually at the same time it kind of like cover this little part. First I was thinking like to cover with a little bit of the spackling. I didn't need to do it because once I placed the piece of paper it covered really well. And I did another coat on Mod Podge on the back of the image, and I did on the top another coat of Mod Podge, and I'm just gonna place my image. I know there's these wonderful friends that they gave me a wonderful technique to use, but these projects I created last year and I didn't have the time to edit the video anything. So this year 2025 I decide to do my best because there's a lot of projects I have already created but I haven't had time to edit. So this time I did this new project for you guys. I hope you guys love it. I really love so much this two side project. It turned out really beautiful. But please let me know in the comments down below. Do you guys have a favorite for this one? For the next project,
I'm gonna be using the other side of the wood house, and also I'm gonna be using this gift wrap that I got at TJ Maxx, and I got it on Christmas. So I'm just gonna use a small piece and I'm just gonna place my wood house on the top, and with my pencil I'm gonna start tracing the wood house, and once I was done I just used my scissors to cut it. Once we're done, I'm gonna be using this Mud Podge that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just using this small brush that I got from Dollar Tree, and I just did one coat and I just put that image on the top. And also I decided to use one coat of Mud Podge on the top. The next thing we're gonna be doing, we're just gonna start recreating hearts with cardboard. So for that, I'm using this chalkboard tags that I got from Dollar Tree, has a template. So I decided to do this step for you guys because not all of us has this Dollar Tree that they carry all the stuff that we need. So I just wanted to create it for you guys with something easy that everybody can have on hand. So what I did, I just used my pencil to mark the heart, and once I was done I just used my scissors to cut it, and this is how it looks once they're completely done. And to paint it, I'm using the Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white that I got from Amazon, and also I'm gonna be using this Waverly chalk paint on color anti-wax, and I'm just gonna use it to distress the heart. So you guys can see I'm not painting the heart all the way because I want the cardboard to show a little bit. So once I was done, I decided to paint the edges of the heart, and I did the same step with the small one. And also I'm gonna be using this Waverly chalk paint on color anti-wax, and I'm just gonna use it to distress the heart. So I'm just doing first the edges, and once I was done I just painted a little bit the inside. Also I decided to use the same paint to distress it a little bit the top of the wood house, but I didn't use a lot, so you guys can see it was just a little bit. So you guys can see on the edges of the wood house it still had a little bit of extra paper. So to fix that I just used my sandpaper and I just sanded very well, and I just removed this extra paper. And once I was done I just started gluing everything together, and to glue it I just used hot glue. The next thing, I'm gonna be using this jute twine that I got from Dollar Tree. So I just want to show you, you guys can just wrap the jute twine a few times the wood house, and you just use hot glue to glue it on the back, and you guys are done. I cannot do that because I just used the other side for the other project that I just create. So what I did, I just cut 3 small strands of the jute twine, and I just used hot glue to glue it, and with the remaining piece I just used my scissors to cut it. And also I decided to create this small bow to put it on the middle. I just used the same jute twine. Also I'm gonna be using this berry mix that I got from Walmart, and I'm just using this piece of the greenery, and I just cut it on half, and I just place it right here on that side of the bow, and to glue it I just use hot glue. Also I decided to paint it the greenery a little bit. So to paint it I used the Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white. I just used a little bit of paint, and to paint it I just used this small brush. The next thing, I'm gonna be using this lavender picks that I got from Walmart, and I'm just using this part of the greenery to put it right here on the side. I just cut small pieces to put it, and I just use hot glue to glue it.
and this is how it looks our project. I just love everything about this project, but please, like I always mention, let me know in the comments down below what do you guys think about this other project. For the next DIY,
For the next project, I'm gonna be reusing these wood boxes. I just recreate these wood boxes, and I will link it down for you guys the videos so you guys can see this project. So I decided to reuse it. I'm gonna be using this small one first because I just love it that it has a heart in the middle. So what I did to paint it, the wood boxes, I just used the Waverly chalk paint on color anti-wax, and I just did one coat and I just let it dry. So you guys can see I just painted all the way inside and outside. Also, I'm gonna be using 4 wood cubes that I got from Dollar Tree as well. And to paint it, I'm using the Waverly chalk paint uncolored anti-wax, and I'm just gonna do 1 coat and I'm just gonna let it dry. And to paint it, I'm using a small piece of this bath sponge that I got from Dollar Tree. The next thing, I'm gonna be using a piece of this gift wrap that I got from TJ Maxx. So I just cut a small piece to put it inside. So first, I was kind of measuring at the side that I needed. So with my scissor, I just use it to make it a little bit smaller to put it inside. And to glue it, I just use hot glue. And now we're just gonna glue the 4 wood cube on the bottom of the wood box. And to glue it, I'm doing a combination of wood glue and hot glue for a strong hold. Also, I decided to reuse this bow that I had on hand. I just removed it from an ornament that I had. I just want to show you, if you guys want, you guys can put the bow right here on the top, or you guys can put it right here in the bottom. Either way, it will look really beautiful. And to glue it, I just use hot glue. Also, I think my bow it was a little bit bigger, so I just used my scissors to cut the ends of the ribbon. I decided to use these buttons that I got from Dollar Tree to put it in the middle of the bow, and to glue it I just use hot glue. So once I was done, I decided to put a few pieces of the greenery inside, but you guys can put anything and it will look really beautiful. And this is how it looks our project once we're done. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this project? I think it turned out really beautiful. I just love it. For the next project, I'm going to be using this picture decor that I got from Dollar Tree. And here's the item number if you guys need it. So what we're going to do, we're just going to remove the glass so we can start painting it. And to paint it, I'm using the Rust-Oleum chalkboard paint on color white. And I'm just going to be using this brush to paint it. So you guys can see I'm not painting the frame all the way because I want the color black to show a little bit. So I just did first 1 coat and I just let it dry, and once it was completely dry I did a second coat, and I did the same step with the other piece of the frame. So the next thing, I'm gonna be using this piece of paper that I had on hand. I just searched on Google for a free printable wallpaper and I just printed. So what I did, I just put the piece of glass on the top, and with my pencil I just mark it, and once I was done I just used my scissors to cut it. Also, I'm gonna be using this Mod Podge that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna do 1 coat on the back of the picture frame, and I'm just gonna place that image on the top. And once I was done, I just used another coat of Mod Podge to put it on the top. The next thing, we're just gonna put all the frame together. I'm going to use this ribbon that I got from Amazon, and I just create a small bow to put it right here in the bottom. And to glue it, I just use hot glue. Also, I'm gonna be using a few pieces of this greenery to put it right here. And to glue it, I just use hot glue. Also, I decided to use this lavender picks that I got from Walmart, and I'm just gonna use a few pieces to put it right here. Also, I'm gonna be using this Juth twine that I got from Dollar Tree, and I just create a small bow to put it right here in the middle. And to glue it, I just use hot glue. And this is how it looks our project once we're done. I think it turned out really beautiful. I just love the quote it has in the glass. It's really beautiful. But please let me know what do you guys think about this project. For the next DIY, I'm going to be using this beautiful frame that I have this year on my Dollar Tree. So it had on the top this small screw. So what I did, I just remove it. And to paint it, the frame, I'm going to be using this Restylane chalkboard paint on color white. And I'm just going to do one coat and I'm just going to let it dry. So you guys can see the middle part, I just tried to cover it very well with the paint. On the side, I just tried to use a little bit of paint because I want the color to show a little bit through. So it can have this distressed look on the frame. The next thing, I'm going to be using this Waverly chalk paint on color anti-wax, and I'm just going to start painting the side of the frame. And I'm just using this brush because I want the color to show a little bit more. And once I was done, I just used a paper towel to remove a little bit of the paint. And with the same brush, I just start distressing the frame a little bit on the edges. Once I was done, I just put the frame all together. The next thing, I'm going to be using two wood hearts that I got from Dollar Tree, and to paint it I'm using the Restylane chalkboard paint on color white. I'm just going to do one coat and I'm just going to let it dry. Also, I'm going to be using this Waverly chalk paint on color anti-wax, and I'm just going to start distressing the heart a little bit. And for that, I'm just using the same brush, but I'm just using a little bit of this paint. I'm going to use these Crafter Squares rub-on transfer stickers that I got from Dollar Tree as well. And I'm just going to be using this word XOXO. And to put it, I'm just using my finger. And once it's done, I'm just going to be using this Mod Podge. And I'm just going to do one coat on the top. And once we're done, we're just going to start putting the hearts in the middle. Also, I'm just going to be using one piece of this wood cube that I got from Dollar Tree. I just cut it in half, and once I just cut it, I'm just going to start gluing it. And to glue everything, I'm just using hot glue. If you guys want a strong hold, you guys can use wood glue. The next thing I'm going to be using is going to be a few pieces of this greenery that I had on hand, and to glue it I'm just going to use hot glue. And this is how it looks our project once we're done. I think it turned out really beautiful. I just love it how the colors blend out all together. But let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think about this project?
For the next DIY, we're going to be using these welcome hearts that I found at my Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to be using two pieces. But if you guys don't have these exactly hearts, you guys can just create this beautiful project using a piece of cardboard. And the paint that we're using, this beautiful paint on color moss that I got at Home Depot. So I just did one coat and I just put it to a side and let it dry. Also, I grab a piece of this wooden doll and I painted with the same color of paint. And once they were completely dry, I'm going to be using a little bit of this Waverly anti-wax to distress it a little bit, the hearts, and I just went over especially on the edges of the heart. And once I distress it, I just want to show you the difference, all the details that it gives to the heart once you distress it. So the next thing, I'm just gonna place the two hearts together and I just using a little bit of the hot glue. If you guys want a permanent hold, I think it's way better to use wood glue. And I just place first my heart and the other one, I just place it on the top. You guys can see how I place them together. I'm going to be reusing these little bags that I had on hand. I will link it down below so you guys can see it step by step what I did. The next thing, I just grab a piece of this floral foam and I'm just gonna place it inside, and I'm gonna use these cutting cards that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm gonna grab two pieces and I'm gonna place it on the top using a little bit of the hot glue to glue it. Also, if you guys want to, you guys can just use wood glue or E6000 for permanent hold. I think it's way better. And once we place the hearts together and once I place them in the floral foam, I'm just gonna use a little bit of the hot glue to glue it so it won't move. And also I'm gonna be using this floral moss that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna place it inside. If you guys want to, you guys can just use a little bit of the hot glue so it can kind of like hold the moss and doesn't come out of the little box if you want to. I create this simple bowl and I just grab a piece of this small wooden doll and I just glue it. But if you guys want to, you guys can place it in the middle or you guys can just place it inside. I think both options, it looks really cute. But let me know in the comments down below, with all the projects that I create today, which one it was your favorite? So that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified every time that I load new video. And please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.